There's this euphoria that one feels when one watches a good movie. It's like eating well-baked apple pie or chocolate or even drinking a glass of red wine. It leaves a long-lasting, refreshing taste on the tongue. Good movies also create that lasting impact, memory, and emotion in your soul. You can see these movies over and over again, and the law of diminishing marginal utility will never set in. You just never get tired, and what's more, if you watch it a second time, you'll feel just the way you felt when you first saw it. In today's video, we'll be talking about the 10 greatest movies of all time. We would focus a little on their story and their production details. Before we begin, thanks for choosing to watch another of our amazing videos. To enjoy more of these videos, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell to get a front row seat. Good movies, great movies really, have a way of moving one, either to tears or to extreme rib-racking laughter. One never forgets the story, or the scene where the protagonist dies of the anagnorisis. All these stick because the movie struck a chord in the heart of the audience. Though movies are very subjective, and what one person thinks is a great film is not so well regarded by someone else, some movies are marvelously outstanding, and these are the movies we will bring to you today. Below are the 10 greatest, most memorable movies of all time. 10. Forrest Gump, 1994. Beginning our list of the top 10 greatest movies of all time is Forrest Gump. Produced in 1994, this classic stars Tom Hanks as the lead actor. With a splendid rendition of a character who can only focus on one thing at a time, the movie leaves the audience rethinking the basis of human life. Why do we struggle? Why do we look for the complex when the simpler is always better? Tom Hanks created perhaps his most iconic film character of all time with the titular character in Forrest Gump. The film follows the many misadventures of a simple yet sweet boy named Forrest as he inadvertently inserts himself into many of the biggest moments in American history. Hanks gives a wonderful performance, infusing his character with enough charm and heart to save him from seeming cartoonish. It's a funny, touching, and entertaining film that remains a crowd-pleasing adventure all these years later. If you haven't seen it, please do. You will not regret it. Forrest Gump is indeed a true classic. 9. Fight Club, 1999. There is this movement from film enthusiasts generally that filmmakers stopped making good movies in the wake of the 21st century. It may not be true, but one thing that can't be disputed is the fact that the best movies were made in the 19th century. Fight Club, produced in 1999, is a testament to that fact. Sitting comfortably on our number 9 spot is this masterpiece movie produced by the spectacular David Fincher. David Fincher remains one of the most talented filmmakers working today. His projects are often dark, but always compelling thanks to his perfectionist approach and unique visual style. Fight Club stands as his most popular film and one of the most exciting films of the 1990s. The film stars Edward Norton as a mundane working man whose life is changed when he meets the mysterious Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt, and the two start a club for grown men to beat each other up. The dark humor, brutal violence, and warped philosophies make it a thrilling watch, and the twist ending makes you want to rewatch the movie again and again. 8. The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings, 2001. When books are translated into screenplays and movies, chances are they don't capture the beauty of the books. Not for the film at our number 8 spot, though. The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings, released in 2001, is a beautifully produced film that adequately captures the ideas and imaginations of Tolkien. Peter Jackson's hugely popular fantasy trilogy kicked off with The Fellowship of the Rings. J.R.R. Tolkien's books were brought to life as fans were transported to Middle-earth, where Frodo Baggins and a band of heroes set out to destroy the powerful One Ring before Sauron can use it for evil. The film wonderfully introduces the beautiful world and its characters. The simple yet thrilling quest is filled with fun, terror, and action. It's not hard to see why fans were immediately drawn to this franchise. 7. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, 1966. At the number 7 spot is another classic action and comic film, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Produced in 1966, this masterpiece Western kept viewers glued to their TV set. The movie featured comedy, action, and a little bit of tragedy. Westerns have been a Hollywood staple since the very beginning, But when the genre went over to Italy, it changed Western forever. The spaghetti westerns told more complex stories, with unique styles of filmmaking that were unlike anything audiences had seen before. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is the definitive entry in the subgenre. It also popularized the genre. The film follows three deadly men on a quest to retrieve buried treasure amid the Civil War. The movie helped popularize the Mexican standoff trend, which is still used in action movies today, made the star Clint Eastwood, and gave us one of the most iconic film scores of all time. 6. Pulp Fiction, 1994. At our number 6 spot is one of Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece films, Pulp Fiction. The movie is a unique blend of all of the qualities that make a classic: beautiful story, creative casts and crews, and, most importantly, a wonderful soundtrack. The unique voice of Tarantino and also his extensive film knowledge and penchant for mixing hilarious comedy with brutal violence helped to inspire a generation of filmmakers. Pulp Fiction is regarded by many as his masterpiece, and it's hard to argue with that. The film intermissions between various stories set in the Los Angeles underworld. Tarantino takes familiar crime stories and gives them his special twist. The creative transformation of these crime scenes turned into his masterpiece movie. The film is unpredictable and fast-paced, with endlessly quotable dialogue all backed up by an amazing soundtrack, often imitated, but never duplicated. 5. 12 Angry Men, 1957. While most of the masterpiece films on this list are giant epics, 12 Angry Men is, by comparison, much smaller. However, that does nothing to lessen its impact. The film is set almost entirely inside a juror's room as the 12 men debate a murder case that they have just overseen. With one voice insisting the accused is innocent, the film details the life or death debate which ensues. Though the setting might be dull, it only helps to give the movie a sense of intensity. The filmmaking brilliantly makes the room seem more and more confined as the debate rages on. The claustrophobic feel adds to the atmosphere of it all. It's stunning proof that small-scale films can pack a big blow. The movie is a unique rendition of the simple complexities of man's life, constantly judged by the powers that be, powers that are in him, powers that he has no say over. The cross-examination is done in a place where he seems less comfortable. The symbolic and near-philosophic nature of this film makes it one of the greatest films of all time. 4. The Dark Knight, 2008. Just ahead of 12 Angry Men, which is the oldest movie on this list, The Dark Knight comes in as the newest on the list. The superhero genre might not get a lot of respect from most movie lovers, but Christopher Nolan's second Batman film proved they can deliver smart, epic, and thrilling movies. The film details Batman's desperate attempt to stop the Joker from destroying Gotham as he searches for someone to take up the role of the city's protector. The film seems like a crime epic, with some amazing set pieces and unpredictable twists. However, the film is most remembered for the late Heath Ledger's mesmerizing performance as the anarchist Joker. 3. The Godfather, Part 2, 1974. The Dark Knight is one of those rare examples of how a sequel can be a worthwhile film on its own. Of course, the most famous example of this is The Godfather, Part 2. It probably seemed like a preposterous idea at the time for Francis Ford Coppola to make a follow-up to his widely acclaimed crime saga, but he proved it was a very good idea. Missing the former lead actor Marlon Brando returning for his iconic role, the film tells the story of young Vito Corleone, played by Robert De Niro, who makes the role his own. Along with those amazing flashback scenes, the sequel follows Michael's further descent into the world of crime and his complicated relationship with his brother Fredo. A brilliant continuation and a masterpiece in its own right. 2. The Godfather, 1972. Al Martino as Johnny Fontaine and Marlon Brando as Don Vito Corleone in The Godfather. The Godfather Part 2 is one of the most acclaimed films of all time. Sadly, it's not the highest-ranked film in that trilogy. The honor goes to the original. There's a lot of debate among cinephiles about which is the better movie, but it's safe to say they are both massive achievements in cinema. This is the story of the Corleone family, an Italian-American mafia family who struggle with maintaining power after the patriarch is nearly assassinated. The film is violent, funny, intense, emotional, and so much more. There are countless quotable lines and unforgettable sequences. It's no wonder it is regarded as such an inspiring film to so many of today's best filmmakers. Number 1. The Shawshank Redemption, 1994. Topping our list with a creative story and even more creative actors is 1994's The Shawshank Redemption. It's no surprise that the highest-ranked film of all time is also one of the most crowd-pleasing films of all time. One would think that a story set inside a maximum security prison wouldn't have many pleasing moments, but The Shawshank Redemption manages to be a surprisingly uplifting tale. Based on a Stephen King story, the film is told over several years at the titular prison and centers on a friendship between two inmates. The relationship between the two men is one of the most heartwarming friendships ever shown on screen, and it helps to give the film those beautiful moments which lead up to one of the greatest endings in film history. The movie is masterfully created, with lead actors that understood the roles and played them spot on. Morgan Freeman narrated the story beautifully, burning deep into the hearts of the audience the desire and importance of freedom. That's about all we can take on today's video. Let us know what you think about these greatest movies, if you've seen any of them before, and what you think about them in the comments section. Thanks for choosing to watch another of our videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your family and friends. Have a great day.